Today I will try to make one of Joie Defee's pocket folders using up book pages. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and this is your channel for vintage inspired art. I found this video by Joie, which I'm linking for you below, where she makes a folder and pockets out of book pages, and I thought that would be a great addition to our current journal pages. I highly encourage you to watch her video as well though, since she gives super clear instructions and always has great ideas how to use supplies that we already have at home. And it's kind of, it's not like my channel where I often create more needs for you. So this is where we are so far with our current journal pages, and all these pages have been made using my current prompt list, which I am linking down for you below as well. And I will also link for you the playlist where you can find how I created all of these lovely pages here. But going back to Joie's video, I wanted to make a folder that I can add to this future journal because it's not a journal yet, doesn't have a cover yet. Joie uses a really gorgeous bird book that she has, really big one. So she makes a much larger folder than I will be making because I want to match mine to this. And the cool thing about her video and her instructions is that she always tells you, how to adapt it to work for whatever you need it to work with. So I think that's really helpful as well. So we'll see how closely we can follow Joie's instructions. So this is the bird book. I also decided to go with a bird book because here we have floral themes going on, and I thought it would be nice to now have a bird theme as well. And so this is the book I chose. This one I got from Goodwill. It's part of a series, and I'm so happy that I found these. So I'll just give you a quick peek how gorgeous this is. I mean, look at these. Oh, look at these pages. I mean, they're just beautiful. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. I've already chosen a double page. Joie chooses a big single page. I am choosing a double page because it just works with what I'm going to do and with the size of my journal. And this is the one that I chose. And maybe a little tip on how to get pages out best without destroying the middle part if you're trying to tear them out. What I do is I use one of these tools. I don't know what they're called. Seam ripper, maybe? Seam ripper, something like that. What you use for sewing. And then I find the middle of a signature. So for example, here I have one. You can see the string here, or the twine. And then I open it with this tool. And that way, you don't destroy the pages when you tear them out. So now you will see the page just lifts out very easily, no damage. So that's a really nice way of doing that, just a little tip. So then Joie folds her paper, and then she extends it to have a flap, and she has her flap on the right side. I'm gonna have my flap on the left side because I want to preserve this picture or this illustration. Given that my journal is a little narrower than the book page, I'm going to adapt this to fit the width of my journal. So I'm going to start off by folding it here, using my bone folder to get a nice sharp crease. So that's going to be one side here, right? This one is going to get an extension of a piece of probably cardstock. That's what Joie does. But first I need to find where the fold is. So the fold is going to be right where this book page ends. So I'm just going to fold that. And to that fold, we're going to attach the cardstock to this here to then have a flap to just fold in. I hope that makes sense. See, Joey is much better at explaining this. So I'm going to go search for a cardstock that I can use as my flap. I have decided to use this, which is actually not cardstock, but given that we're not making a separate folder, but rather we are using it in our journal, I don't want to have it super thick anyway. So it's kind of similar to the weight of the book page, and it actually has, I didn't even check that, it has the perfect width, it's exact, or height, it has exactly the same height. Now how cool is that? So that makes my life easier. So when I glue these two together, so now I'm gonna see how wide I want it to be. Obviously it needs to stop before the crease. Do it about here, which is about not even a centimeter away from the fold, which is, how much is that in inches? I would say it's about 1/4 of an inch away from the fold. Okay, next I'm going to glue this onto the flap. So I will just put this underneath and I'm gonna use my glue stick. Try to be precise. I'm just leaving a little tiny edge, not going all the way up to the end of the fold. All right, so there's our flap. So now we have this trifold, I guess you can call it, right? So if you were to not put this in your journal, but just have a trifolder, this is what you would have. But of course, I'm going to put this in my journal, so it's going to be like this. And then we have this page and it will fold out. Next, I think Joie then proceeds to cover up this and, well, I think first she actually covers up this back side to make it more sturdy. And she uses other book pages, like she has book pages from vintage, like vintage architectural black and white photos. So she completely switches this up with the theme, which is actually very cool. But I was thinking, because I have this image here, which is from this beautiful book, which I also found at my Goodwill. It is absolutely stunning. Look at these beautiful images throughout the book. I mean, it's unbelievable. What a treasure. And it even has, it has a dried flower in here. That was in the book when I found it. Just gorgeous. Love these so much. And I had taken out a page already, which is this one. And it has an image on the back that I don't really care for that much. So I thought this might be a good one to add here on this side. I'll just make it the length of my flap. And I'm again going to use my glue stick for this and cover this whole flap. I'm always afraid of warping when I use liquid glues on thinner pages, which is why I want to use the glue stick. So now I'm making sure these ends meet up. Garnish that. Making sure there's no bubbles or wrinkles on either side. And now I can just cut these off. Okay, so this is the inside, that's done. And now we also need something for this outside flap. So again, I'm taking an image from this beautiful book. Again, I found one where I don't like the back so much, so I'm happy to use this front page. And I will do exactly the same thing. And again, I'm just trimming off the excess on both sides. have a trifold folder. This is so cool. Next part is then to make some pockets for the folder. The first pocket that I'll be making is going to go here on this back side. And I have chosen this book. Again, this is one I found at my Goodwill. This is an amazing book as well. It's called Die Cut Weeds and it's part of a series. This was really expensive and I believe you can still find these even somewhere online. I mean, I paid, I think 20 euros for it, but I think they are way more expensive online. So if you can find these used somewhere, then that's great because inside they have the most stunning black and white images as well as some colored images, and I just love this book. It's very sturdy. I should try to find some of the, so here's some of the colored ones, but I actually prefer the black and white ones in this book because they are just gorgeous. So I've already chosen a page, which is this one. And I know it's too tall for my pocket, so I'm going to cut it down about here. Joie uses a book page which is pretty much square, so I think that's kind of what I will go with as well. So I'm just gonna trim it down. And if I have this figured out right from the way Joie folds it, I think the side that's gonna be on the front when we start folding now is the one that you'll see on the inside of the pocket. So I think we're gonna lose this side if I'm correct. We'll see. She starts off by folding a flap on the right side about, I think she does about 1/2 inch. So let's do that. I'm gonna use my bone folder to get a nice crease. Okay, and then I think we fold it onto each other and the ends need to meet. And then, how did that go? She tears down this fold, so not the one with the flap, so the middle fold. She tears down to not quite half. So if we make a mark here, then, I mean, you can use your scissors as well if you prefer. Actually, I'm gonna use my scissors. I don't know, I just feel more comfortable using my scissors. But if you've creased it well, you can definitely just tear it. And then she folds or outwards. Okay, I'm gonna go have to rewatch that part of the video because I forgot which way she folds it. This way? Is it this way? I think it's this way, but I'm gonna go check and come right back. Okay, I'm back. What she does is she takes this flap and she folds it out, and this is going to create the slant of the pocket. So you kind of just need to choose how much you want it slanted. I don't know. I'm gonna do this and then fold it. And then Joie also tears this, so I'm gonna try to tear it this time, right along the fold. Okay, I'm gonna keep this because we're gonna use this again later. So now we have this here, which is gonna be one pocket. And then, see, we have this flap still here, so you mark where your pocket is. So we're gonna cut it, the flap here, and this part is gonna be folded back, but this part is going to stay in front to help close our pocket. And I made my mark, which I can't see now. Okay, so this is where my pocket ends. And now I can cut this like that. You see this here closes the pocket. So first we're going to fold the upper part of the flap down. And we're gonna glue that, and that makes the pocket more sturdy. Again, if my instructions don't make sense, please see Joey's video. She's much better at explaining this. So we have this flap. So we don't actually need to glue the bottom down because of that second piece we're gonna be adding. That's going to fold over the bottom, so that will create the bottom of our pocket. I'm going to put some glue on this flap. Close up that pocket. If you want to ink the edges, then of course it's better to do that before you've glued it down as well. There's two versions of adding this second pocket. So we have one pocket here, and then we'll have another pocket here, and you can either have it following the upper pocket, or Joey says that you can turn it around and have the pocket like this. So we have 1 and 2. I think both are really cool. But actually, you know, this is a little bit different. I've never done a pocket like this. I'll hold it like this, and then I'll turn it around, and then I'll fold it up. I mean, if you want to prevent extra bulk, then it would make sense to now cut this down a little bit so that you just have a little bit going over. But I'm not gonna worry about the bulk. I will just go with how it is. And so now I'm going to glue it on both sides, here and here, and I'm also going to put glue on that part that's gonna go over the back side. And now I just glue that down. 1, 2, and fold the back over. This is such a cool pocket. If you need more pocket inspiration, I always say Joey for me is the queen of pockets. She has so many amazing, simple pockets where you can use your book pages. You don't need anything extra. And I just love that about her channel. So we have our 2 pockets. How fun is that? I love that. What Joey also does is she rounds the corners on the top. So do I want that? Why not? So I have this corner rounder with small corners. I really enjoy these small corners. This is 4 millimeters. I think I can link something like this for you. All right, now let's see how this fits onto our page. So this is the page. And oh, I can even put it in so that I don't lose this cute parrot's head. So he can actually peek out from underneath. How cute is that? I love it. You can, of course, just glue the whole thing down, but wouldn't it be fun to glue it down in a way so that this is a pocket here too? I'm going to ink it up with my tea dye Distress Oxide, and I should have done this before, obviously. So this will just give it a very light edge. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue this down on the 3 edges. Of course, it could be a top-loading pocket too, but I think I like it from the side better. So I gotta be sure to glue down the right sides. This one here. And I'm doing this with my art glitter glue just because it is so handy. You could also sew the pocket on instead of gluing it on. And I think you want to be sure not to glue the pocket too close to your fold, otherwise that will create a problem when you open and close your folder. So we have 3 pockets. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and I love it. Ha! Next, I want to make a small pocket for right here in the middle. And I'm going to use Joey's 3-tier sloping pocket, again made with a book page. I'm going to be using this vintage music paper, which was in a Happy Mail. And again, Joey starts with a square kind of shape, so I will attempt to make this into a square by tearing it down. You see, this is fairly fragile already, so I don't want to put it through my trimmer. Joey has linked to this video in the video that I have linked to. Does that make sense? Now we have this piece of paper, and I want the openings to point towards the right, which is also what she does. So we need to fold in 2 corners, and we fold in the smaller corner on the top left, and we're making sure that these are right angles. And then we need the bigger corner to fold in the top right. So the opposite end. Just gonna try to make this bigger. Try to stay at a 90-degree angle here. Okay, what I forgot to do is before we fold these in, it needs to be folded in half both ways. So fold it first like this, and then we open it and we fold it the other way. Okay, and now we have these 2. And then we need to make a cut. I think it was this one here. Let's try that. I might have the wrong one. I'm horrible at following instructions. Okay, hopefully this was the right cut. Now we turn it around and fold the one with the smaller fold onto this, and then we just keep folding like this, and then we fold the last piece like this, and then and then we we have the 3-tier pocket. And if we glue this back on just on the two sides, then we have another pocket on top here as well. Let's see how this would look. So this goes here. Where's the fold? The fold is here. So again, it works out so that this little bird still peeks through. I think that's so cute. Let's have another pocket on top here. This time, before I glue, I'm going to ink it up again with my tea dye. And now I take my 3-in-1 glue, and I'm going to glue down the back flap first. So I'll just glue that on the outside. You could, of course, also have the pocket going like this if you prefer. Then obviously you don't glue that side down. And then I'll glue the next pocket and the outside one. How cute is that? I love it. Let's see, so we have the top pocket here. So again, we could glue it so that we have another pocket here. Why not? I mean, whether we use it or not is still up to us, but that way at least we have the possibility. So I'm going to put glue, well, or we just glue these 2 sides down, and then we have a bigger, like a tuck spot there. Yeah, I'll try that. So many possibilities. So I'm just gonna glue these 2. And again, making sure not to glue it on the fold. I wanna leave some room there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets here. Very cool. I do want to create one more pocket, or it's more of a tuck spot for just down here, like a super simple one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cutoff of this pocket that we made here, because this is really nice. It says seating here and it has some text, so I think this works really well for this pocket. So I'm going to leave like maybe a 1/4 of an inch on either side that we will use as flaps. So I will mark that. And then I also want a flap for the bottom to fold up, so I need to calculate that as well. Okay, so I have this rectangle piece here, and you see now that it's too wide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to fold in both sides approximately a 1/4 of an inch. Make sure I crease it well. If you don't have a bone folder, don't worry, you could use the back of your scissors. You could use just your ruler, or even something like a credit card. I want the flap on the bottom as well, so I'm gonna fold that up as well. And now I'm going to cut the corners where they fold over. So I don't want all this extra bulk here, so I will just cut those off like so. And that means that when we fold it, there's no extra bulk here. And I do that on the opposite corner as well. And I'm actually also gonna slant the tops. That is not completely necessary. It's just, I don't know, I find it easier. And this just gives me more room than if I would just have a rectangle and glue that down. And of course, what I forgot is to ink it. And I definitely want to do that before it's glued down. So there's our pocket. I think that's enough pockets for my folder. Feel free to add as many pockets to yours as you want, but I don't want mine to become mega bulky. So I think I'm good with this for now. And now comes, in my opinion, the best part, which is decorating. So of course I want to decorate this a little bit more. And I think butterflies will work well for this. These are some printouts from the Biodiversity Heritage site. And I have a video where I show how I get these and how I managed to print several of these out on one sheet of paper. So I will link that video for you below as well. And I will also link Joie's separate videos on how to make this and this pocket. I think that's just a lot easier for you to find. So I want to use one of these as a focal point for this pocket. I want something with a little color. So I think this guy is very cute. So I'm gonna start off by fussy cutting him out. And while I'm at it, I might as well also choose something for this pocket. I have these two as well. So we could either go with this big blue one, which I actually really like, and it works really well with this blue flower. Or we could also do this green one, which actually will go really well with this little guy up here. So I have my pieces cut out, and so I kind of really like the blue. The blue one is totally stunning. So I think I'll save this guy for another time. And I usually don't bother cutting out the feelers because I figure if I want them, I can then just draw them by hand. You won't really notice because they're so thin. Okay, so now I want to start adding some background elements to these. I have here my little box of little scraps, which I want to try to use some of. As you know, I like a little bit of cheesecloth. A little bit of lace can't hurt either, although we might have to distress that a little bit. This is a little piece of a used tea bag. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that as it is. So I will just glue everything down. And I'd also like to add a sentiment to this pocket. And I have these words. You might have seen this in the past. I have bought these locally from Action. And I think for this project, one that works very well is play along. So play along as in play along making these fun pocket folders and pockets and all of that. Inking that with my vintage photo. adding a little more glue on the back because I don't trust that it will stick well enough to hold up for a longer time. Now let's move on to this one here. So we already have this butterfly and same process. So this is our pocket number 2 done. This 2018 is a cutout from a newspaper, so that's a great resource for numbers and words and things. So really liking both of those. And also on this little guy we can draw the feelers. There. And actually this little guy that we didn't use before works really well on this pocket right here. I love that. And then I found these two. So either of those I think would be really cool. Have them both cut out. And I think we can make them both work like this. How cute is that? I love that. And I don't think they need anything in the background actually. I'm just gonna glue these down as they are. And when I place these, I wanna make sure that I don't all glue them in the same direction. I want there to be some sort of a dynamic in the elements. So that's why one is facing one way, the other one is facing the other way. Okay, and now we need to draw the feelers. And I think this one even had some legs that I unfortunately cut off. We'll add these feelers. Love how this turned out. How fun is this? Oh, this actually goes in like this. And now all that's left to do is to find some items for our pocket. You can obviously make items for your pockets, but I have been blessed with so much beautiful Happy Mail items that I will dig through my box and see what I can find to go in these pockets. I filled all the pockets and I'll show you that in a moment. One thing that kind of bothers me that I want to get rid of is I have this fold here from where the book page originally was folded, and I want to cover that up, and I will use some washi tape. These are beautiful samples I received in Happy Mail. Maybe I'll try this one here. This is so cute. Look at this washi. It's adorable. And that also adds another cute decorative element to our page. I like this. Yep, let's do it on the inside too. I think this beige one will work really well with our pocket. I love that. Oh, I'm so glad that it had that fold. I would have never done this otherwise. So finally, this is what our folder looks like wrapped around our other journal pages, and I think this is a signature that's done, even though it only has 3 pages, but look how bulky, but I love it. So this is the front, and then we open it and we have this beautiful image, and then we fold it open once more. So this is the flap that we attached, and inside this pocket I have your beautiful Happy Mail items. Look how cool that is. Love this. I want to try to make some of these as well. Then we have this one, and these are by Ray, and unfortunately I don't remember who sent me this. I am so sorry. It's sometimes hard to keep track of who sends what. But it's absolutely beautiful, even though, you know, it's just a scrapbook paper, but I don't even want to cover it up because it's absolutely gorgeous. So these are all actually from Ray. I just got these. I just think they're so fabulous, especially for this folder. So there's another one of these, like kind of Polaroid kind of pieces. So we have this little collaged card here. And then there's also 2 playing cards. Really cool idea to make an eyelet through it, and then she made these. I'm so happy to have homes for these. Now we fold this back in, so this is the other parts of our signature, and finally this is the back. So we didn't do anything here. I want to keep the birds, and on the back side we have another pocket, and inside here, peeking out, we have this, I think it's kind of like a fox. This is from a French children's book. I got this from Bea in Happy Mail, so thank you, Bea. I love him peeking out there. This is again from Ray, another butterfly collaged tag. And these elements I think were all from Emma. So thank you, Em. She sent these a while ago. How cute is that? I love how she did that. And I love how it just wraps around the pocket. And then there's a little gorgeous cigarette card and a cute little vintage tag. Love that as well. And here's another beautiful dragonfly tag with writing space on the back. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Give this folder a try, make it your own, watch Joie's videos, so much inspiration there. And hope to see you back in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you want to see more, I have so much more coming. I love you guys.